Hey guys, good morning. Oh my gosh. My oh it's 8:35. I got a couple minutes just to say that I'm going to be heading out to go and do the walk with my sister. But yeah, I just wanted to record a quick video before I leave. Um I think I mentioned this before, but I think doing like activity like the morning walk right when I wake up would be helpful. So we'll see. We'll see how helpful it is. Um, I need to get ready. I don't have much to do, but like, I just wanna, I just wanna vibe for a couple minutes, and try to wake up. So okay, I'm gonna go. Um, don't know what the rest of the day is gonna look like. So yeah. All right, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye.
Hello, it is 10:16 and I almost forgot to record this. I was getting ready for bed and I'm like, did I forget something? Um yeah, today was a short one. I did 10,000 steps with my sister, so that was great. Um I started reading a new book. I'm 63 chapters in. It's pretty good. Um let's see. Um I did a little sorting of some stuff. Um, I forgot, and talking and hanging out with my sister reminded me of I can actually go and what's it called? Um, I can actually get uh, cod liver. I used to eat that um, before. Now I'm not going to eat it very often, maybe once a week, but that's actually it has tons of nutrients packed into it. It's very like I'll say that it is a heavy food. Um, so yeah, but I was kind of thinking about okay, what do I want to have as a rotation for food for my proteins? And I'm like, okay, well, getting a thing of fish, um, where I eat one pack of smoked salmon a week, where I can space it out throughout the week. That'll be um, that'll be first. Then the cod liver. So I'll have one fillet of salmon spread out throughout the week, one can of cod liver, and then I kind of hate getting the full roasted chickens. I'll get them, but I'd rather just have the thighs. Um, I'm a big fan of dark meat, and so yeah. So I'm thinking chicken thigh um, is one of my main staples, and then mix that with egg a couple times a week, maybe like once or twice a week, and then also mix in one steak a week. I've thought about it, and it's like I don't really want to have red meat too often, but I do think that having it every so often, again with like the cod liver and then the steak, and then the eggs, having those things as like little sides will balance it out. That coupled with I am gonna introduce back tofu because I haven't really been eating much tofu, but I do love tofu. So I think having tofu a couple times a week would be nice. So doing that mixed together, I think that would be a really healthy mix of different proteins. And then my vegetables, that's the standard. I feel so strongly about how good the vegetables are in the morning. Um, so, I think I'm always going to have veggies in the morning. And then throwing in some nuts. I don't have to rely so heavily on nuts, but I do think that having like a half a cup or a quarter cup of walnuts, I think it's a quarter cup of walnuts a day, um, just to make sure I'm getting my what's it called, omega 3. So yeah, I'll have the fish, but I think just making sure with the walnuts doesn't hurt. So all of that combined together, I feel like that is going to be well, and then also fruit. Uh, Fruit in the afternoon or evening, um, mixed with the protein. I don't know if I'm gonna do like some form of. I'm not sure what else, but I'm gonna have to plug everything in and kind of. I'll make a menu effectively for myself. Things also like shrimp. I'm a big fan of shrimp. Um, I also like scallops, and I can cook scallops pretty easily. I mean, most of this stuff I know how to cook, so it's not like I can't cook any of it. Um, so I think all of those things kind of mixed together, that'll I think that'll do wonders for my diet. And then I think a couple times a week, I'm not going to do it every day. So I'm thinking maybe like once or twice a week, I'll do the AG1 little packet, uh, just to do like a shotgun to hit any like potential blind sides I have on what I'm eating. But I want to not have the blind sides by plugging in and doing all the math on what the new diet would look like. So yeah, I don't know what the calorie count's gonna look like on that either. So yeah. Um, Aside from that, I'm also planning on I need to get the boots for the hiking boots. I also want to get. My sister mentioned. I'm like, oh yeah, bear spray. I didn't even think about bear spray. And in the same vein, I didn't think about like my own self protection, like pepper spray or some form of like, a stick or something to protect myself in case someone's weird. But yeah, so I think that's important. And I also want to get the backpack. I've been doing the research on the backpack, and so I like what I've kind of come up with for the backpack. So I'm gonna get the backpack, and then aside from that, I think what my plan is. I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, so my sister mentioned maybe doing a first aid class for um, just learning how to do like a tourniquet and like all the like wrapping bandages properly with the wrap and the gauze and all that stuff, so that I can create my own um, first aid kit, because almost everyone that I've watched that has talked about hiking and like preparing and all of that stuff, you need to know how to use everything in your first aid kit, and you need to make it yourself. You don't just buy a random first aid kit, because most of the stuff, it won't even matter because you're not going to use it. So it's just empty weight that you're just carrying around. So yeah, and then I've kind of come to the conclusion that my end goal between now and July is to have all I want to be able to put all of the important things that I value between my backpack and my carry-on, maybe the bigger suitcase, I don't know, but like yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And um obviously, if I have to have it on my checked-in bag as a check-in bag as well, that's is what it is. I would rather not have to have a checked-in bag, but if I need one, I need one. So yeah, that's kind of my thought, is if I can fit everything, basically all the really important stuff in my backpack, and then anything extra, like things like clothes, um, that's important, like obviously. Hey, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think my camera shit the bed for a second. So, but yeah, as I was saying, um, my goal is to have the backpack have all my essentials. And so that if, God forbid, I lose my checked in bag or whatever, the backpack has everything that I care about. And then really all that would be like left would be, whatever the suitcase had. Um I figure if I have that figured out, and then my sister mentioned, it was very nice of her. By the way, we had a great walk. I enjoyed seeing the dogs again, and then yeah, she just talked about how much she cared, and I told her how much I cared about her too, and that it was a nice moment. Um, but she mentioned that, like, hey, if she doesn't have a ton of space, but like if I have a box or two that I wanna like keepsakes, or like my computers, that she'd be willing to like hold it off to the side while I figure out what's happening. Um, so that's gonna be really helpful, because my thought is I have the one keepsake box, and then I have a bullshit box, and then I have a wire box. I can get rid of the bullshit box and get rid of the get rid of the wire box. Then really it's just one keepsake box in the computers. Maybe a second box for miscellaneous stuff that I think is important enough to keep, but like, not stuff I'm necessarily gonna need. Um, so, so my thoughts are, okay, if I can compress everything down to that, then I think that will symbolize like me being totally good on the physical possession stuff. And then really all that would be left would be, obviously I have my car. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my car. It all depends on what's going to happen over the next couple months. Um, so really, it depends on, like, I'll be as ready as I can be, if that makes sense. Um, just looking at the poof. I have the it's just a beanbag chair, but it's really comfortable. Um, yeah, basically the only thing that I would really, she mentioned like, hey, if you're planning on using your car as a backup plan for sleeping, I would highly recommend you test out your sleeping thing just to see if it even works, so you can fiddle around with it. Um, so so I'm definitely gonna do that. I don't know when, but I'll test that out. And then really, it's like I have so much little bullshit that it's like what do I do with the fucking 1,000 pens I have? It's like obviously I don't need 1,000 pens. Um, I have random staplers and this and that, and, just like stationary stuff and, random notebooks and other things that I'm like, oh, fuck, what do I do with it? So, um, yeah, I'll have to think about that, but really, I feel like I'm getting really close on compression of like compressing all of my stuff enough. The main thing I want to make sure I get in time is the backpack, so I can pack it and see what it looks like packed. Um, I don't know how long it will take for shipping. It could be just a couple days. Um, and then getting the hiking boots, because I think having a really sturdy pair of hiking boots is important. Um, so yeah, but aside from that, really, like, I feel like I'm really close to being able to just up and move, like, whenever. Um, I think maybe another week of, like, really cleaning out the stuff. And I also got to fix the door still. So there's that. But, yeah. And then I need to really uh, double down on like making sure in the mornings I'm doing the meditations and the other things I want to do in the morning. So, um, yeah. So I think that's the plan. We'll kind of see what happens, but honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about what I have planned. So it really just kind of boils down to like I don't know what else. What else can I like improve upon? Um, and then just really do all the trail stuff. I just found out. I think it was yesterday or the day before that I can do my first fitting for my suit, which I'm super excited about. I think it's gonna be so good looking. But yeah, and I gotta. Oh man, there's actually a lot I still have to do. So, anyway, I'm gonna go. Um, I think I'm gonna do another walk tomorrow in the morning. So I'll do my meditations and then walk, and then see what the rest of the day looks like. So yeah. Okay, have a good rest of your evening. Bye.